Hey guys, Richard here, and as you may know, I'm here on Mondays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. each and every week, nearly. And today I have a great business lesson, and it's all about, well, just one moment, as I want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel, so just click that little button to subscribe, and don't forget to sign up for my VIP list where I offer bonus trainings that are not available anywhere else and more. Okay, ready? Let's go. Now, in my previous lessons, I've been talking a lot about finding your niche, building out your funnel, and what you need to do. But let's talk about your domain name and your website. Well, what does that all mean? Well, let's just jump in there. So I really do think you need to have a website of some sort. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you should have a web presence because when people go to search your name, they will find your website. So what do you need? Well, the first thing you need is a domain name. Now, this is a word or combination of words that will have an extension at the end of it. Hold on, that sounds a little bit confusing, right? So let's take an example. Facebook.com. Facebook is the domain name and the .com is the extension. Extensions can be country codes like .es, .ie, .cl, etc. Now, domain names should be short and easy to remember. And here's a tip. Always do the telephone test. Now you might be wondering, Richard, what's the telephone test? Well, if you were to say the name over the telephone, would it be easy to understand? For example, if I have a domain, really fancy, called carsforyou.com, do you think there could be confusion here? As you can see, someone might spell out F-O-U or Y-O-U. So this domain would not be the best. But what could you use for a domain name? Well, one good idea is to search for your name and see if it's available. Now, for me, it was difficult as, unfortunately, Richard Butler is quite a common name. So I ended up making a huge mistake. Now, this was around 15 years ago. And I registered, wait for it, richardbutlerthesuccesscoach.com. Oh my God, how many typos can you get in this? And if I had done the telephone test, I wouldn't have made that mistake. But about 2 years ago, I got richardbutler.coach, which was so much more accessible and so easy to remember. Thus, I think the first domain you should register is your name. Now, there's many extensions that you could use, such as .coach, .tv, .info, .io, .me, and more. So spend time and find one that works for you. For example, if you're doing a lot of video, it might be richard.video. Now, I have a link to one of the cheapest places to register domains in the comments. Now, the second type of domain you might register is a product name, but this probably comes later because at the moment, maybe you don't even have a product, but definitely get your own name. How much does it cost to register a domain? Anything from $10 to $50 depending on the extension, and this is a yearly subscription. You can register any domain and your name might be taken because anybody can register them. But be careful, because if you register a trademarked name like coca-cola.com, if it was there, you could get into trouble. So if I go for richardbutler.com and it's not available, I could register therichardbutler.com. Okay, so now you have your domain. What do you do with it? Well, you need to host it. And that means that your domain name lives on a computer that is connected to the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not something that you can do yourself, and the technical name for this computer is a server. So there are hosting companies which will allow you to host your site on their servers. They either provide this as a monthly or yearly option. Now, big fat warning, there should be sound effects going off here, but when you go searching for hosting, you may find that there are special offers that allow you to host your site and pay one payment for 5 or 10 years. And they will host it for 5 or 10 years with just one payment, or even lifetime hosting for less than $20. Well, you know what they say. If it sounds too good to be true, guess what? It is. But you know, in the interest of experimentation and making sure that I was right on this, I decided to test one of those lifetime deals. And I put out a domain on that I don't really use at all. Well, first of all, let me tell you, the sign-up process was horrendous. But once I did get signed up after about 72 hours, the hosting itself seemed to be really, really quick until something went wrong and my site was down for 36 hours. Now, what do you expect for $20? Now, while this might be okay for a throwaway domain that you don't care about, you cannot run your business with something as unreliable about this. This is a business expense, and your hosting costs anything from $20 to $50 a month. For me, this is one expense you need in your business. It's like setting up a shop, and instead of getting a bricks and mortar shop, you say, well, I'm going to open up my shop and I'm going to have the shop in a tent. You see what I mean? The tent could blow away, it's not very safe, etc. It's cheaper, but it's not good. Don't skimp on hosting, as this is the lifeblood of your business. So set aside $50 a month for hosting as a maximum. And there's a link in the description for the hosting I use, which I have to say is exceptional. I've tried 3 or 4 hosts, and anytime I have an issue, they fix it within minutes. And I've personally communicated with Nick, the owner of the company, and he really is amazing, and so are his team. Now, once you get the hosting sorted out, you will need to install WordPress, which is the best known and one of the most used CMSs or content management systems that there are on the web. Now, for those of you on my VIP list, I will be creating a special training, and you can find the link to the VIP list in the description. Okay, so let's do a quick summary. You need a domain name, you need hosting, then you need to build your website. In next week's video, I will talk more about your website and what you need as a minimum on your site, and I mean of pages. So remember to subscribe and like the video, sign up for the VIP list, and I will see you next week.